The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. Happy New Year's Eve as we come into December 31st tomorrow. Full day of trading today and tomorrow as we come into 2021, January 1st, kicking things off on Friday. This morning, we got markets in positive territory yet again. We'll start things off. That's a daily chart. We'll put it on a 15-minute. You see the sell-off we had in the S&Ps yesterday. Right now, we're up 13 points in the S&P futures, trading at 37.33. You get the NASDAQ right now at 57 points. We're coming right up to where we were in the NASDAQ 100 yesterday morning. The Dow up 72 points right now, 30,309. You see we're about 200 points off the highs of where we were yesterday. The Russell up about 9 points. And you see the divergence here. The Russell from early Monday to where we are now, you're talking about 65, 67 points that we've given back, as opposed to the NQs. We're right up there near the highs. The S&Ps from that level, we're talking about basically 15 points away from the highs we had. The Russell really giving back some of those gains. Keep your eye on that one. Bitcoin, how about it again? A new record high. Last night, 28,885 on the Bitcoin futures. We're currently trading 28,330. You got crude up a bit as well. We're selling off in the last few minutes, but crude's still up about 20 cents at 48.19 right now. Natural gas up a couple pennies at 2.46. We get the gold contract right now up $2 at 18.85. Talk about a little tight trading range here on gold, chopping around between about 18.80 and maybe 18.90 since Monday. Silver's up 21 cents right now at 26.43. Notes and bonds basically flat. We got the 10-year flat at 137.29, the 30-year off 2 ticks at 172.19. We're looking at a yield right now of 0.936%. All right, as we jump around to what else we got going on, one of the headlines out there, AstraZeneca, Oxford COVID vaccine gains first clearance with the UK nod. So this vaccine is going to be pretty instrumental across the globe when you start talking about, I believe it's AZN. Is that AstraZeneca? Let's find it. What's their symbol? Let's get it. AZN, there it is. So up a bit today from 50 to 50.71 somewhat, putting this on a daily chart. Going to be an instrumental vaccine. Pretty interesting that we spiked back there in July. We've trailed off a bit since then. This vaccine, you're able to store it at basically regular temperatures when you talk about distributing a vaccine to many third world nations across the globe, etc., even in the UK. So that's kicking into action. We jump around to the other vaccine stocks. Pfizer, really interesting how they've given it back. You have Pfizer trading off a solid $6 from where it was at. And that's just December 9th. And you take a look at Moderna shares, quite the fall off as well. We're going to open up about $2. Really interesting how Merck gets out of this position sometime in the first half of the final quarter of the year. The high point there they could have gotten out was at about $80. Interesting that they got out of there after you had it. Moderna shares trade up to 95 and then give it all the way back to 54. Something tells me that they had regretted not getting out of this equity somewhere up here after they saw it dive down. Nonetheless, it trades to almost 180, and we're back to about 114 on Moderna shares so far this morning. Let's check around some of the FANG stocks and how they're reacting. That's a daily chart of Microsoft. We'll put it on a 15-minute. We're up a bit with the NQs in positive territory. Microsoft's up about 80 cents right now at 224.93. Apple shares, I watched my first Apple TV movie last night. I got Apple TV for a year as a result of upgrading my phone over the holidays. I watched that movie Greyhound with Tom Hanks. Pretty good movie if you like war movies. Check it out. Apple up another $1. Why not? To 135.81. Amazon's been on quite a tear, and they're going to open higher and push near those highs we had yesterday this morning, 33.42. Jumping around to some of the retailers. Target pretty unchanged. You got Walmart shares right now unchanged as well. And some of the others I like to keep my eye on. Lowe's up a bit this morning. We got Home Depot shares up a bit as well. And Zoom's had some interesting action. Bouncing along that 350 area. You put Zoom on a daily. We're going to open at about 359. And if you're looking to get into this equity, folks, there's nothing wrong with scaling in maybe at this level. Maybe you let it fill this gap down here to about a high of 325. Strong company. I remember when they came out with their numbers, August 31st. You're talking about 4 full months ago. They came out with those numbers, gangbuster numbers, dramatically higher. This is going to be a volatile stock, but I imagine that this is going to be around. I put on my newsletter this weekend. Anytime you have a company and the company's name becomes a verb in the English language, you're going to Google something, right? Go Google it. Hey, have you Googled that? Hey, you guys want to Zoom, right? You actually use it as a verb, and it's commonly accepted. Well, right now, you're talking about a company that's worth $102 billion. So, yeah, you're getting up there. But they're a profitable company, folks, and they've signed up a tremendous amount of customers that have people and they're paying, et cetera. You know, they don't probably plan on making money off me when I have a Zoom call occasionally with my buddies in my fantasy football league once a month or something. They are going to make it off of friends I have who are running huge businesses and using Zoom for communications up and down the line throughout their business. Zoom right now 359, but that's pullback. And the other one I like to keep my eye on recently is Salesforce. Same deal. I mean, look at that. We just talked about Zoom was August 31st. Salesforce August 25th. Similar action. Strong companies. Salesforce much more solidified than maybe Zoom. They're in the Dow 30. Tremendous company. You get over to the market cap of a company like Salesforce. Slide it down. Talking about $204 billion versus Zoom at about $100 billion. We filled the whole gap. We were up to 280. We're back to about 222. We filled the entire gap from their earnings. Again, blew it out of the water in August. What did happen on their last earnings, though, not quite growing at the rate that maybe the market was looking for. Nonetheless, a strong company with a strong future. And anytime you get a huge pullback like that, you're looking for positions and equities for the long term. Nothing wrong with scaling in. What I also say is that I don't need to own any specific equity right now. I don't need to own it in the long term because the market's at about 3,700 and we got 20 million people on some type of federal or state unemployment assistance. So there's going to be opportunities. It's not like there's not. There's a lot of perfection priced in this market. When you're talking about long-term positions, there's going to be opportunities. Yes, you have certain equities like Salesforce that's pulled back dramatically, but if the market suffers a lot, Salesforce is going to suffer with it, and they might trade lower, you know. And when you have a market that's basically pricing so much good news to come, and we're already seeing, you know, you can expect a slow rollout. They have to ramp it up with the vaccines, but you can already see that the expectation that the president was talking about was about 20 million vaccines by the end of this month. That does not look to be the case. Doesn't mean we can't ramp it up, and that will be what happens, folks. You know, you're going to get it out to the first responders. You're going to ramp it up. It's not going to be 200,000 vaccines a day, which is what we're doing right now. It's got to be millions of vaccines a day. It will happen, but all I'm trying to say is it might not be where the market thinks it's going to be, as we're sitting right now up 16% in the S&Ps for the year. 16% for the year at 37.32. All right, folks, let's check in on the VIX as we come into this first break. Got the VIX sitting at 2263. Pretty calm action overnight. Stay tuned, folks. We'll go over what else we have happening on Wednesday trading coming into the new year. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins, too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps positive by 11, NQs positive by 63. Are we going to hit 13,000 today? They're talking about it in the den in there. Very possible, folks. The NASDAQ, my goodness, the strength we've had. You're talking about starting the year, folks, at 8,700. We might end the year at 13,000, and that would be almost a double bagger from the lows of the NASDAQ from March 23rd of 66.28. You take a look at the Dow, a little bit of a different story, right? We're trading at 30,306. You start off the year at about 28,421, up about 6% or so. And the S&Ps were basically within about 5 points of 500 points positive for the year, 32.36, where we closed out the futures last year, December 31st, and we're within about 5 points of being 500 points positive. You're talking about 16% or so positive for the year. Okay, back to Bitcoin. Quite the year Bitcoin has had. My goodness, even in the last couple of months, it's been remarkable. You hang around, you start the year at 7,000. You were at about 10,000 prior to COVID, 4,000 at the lows, and we're going to end the year approaching 30,000. I mean, we were just trading at, folks, on December 11th, 17.5, and you don't have to back it up far to October. I mean, October, November, December, you're talking about it's up 200% in the final quarter of the year. Quite the run. We'll see what 2021 brings. Do we see 50,000 Bitcoin, 100,000 Bitcoin? My goodness, I imagine you're going to start seeing central banks potentially getting into Bitcoin. When you start talking about six figures potentially, we're going to be pushing for Bitcoin if we get that type of a pop yet again. Okay, what else we got going on? AMC, they're going to file to offer 50 million more shares. Can't blame them. They're in a tough spot. They need some cash. AMC, there's your chart there. We're going to open pretty much unchanged. Now you take a look at it. We've been trailing off from 289. That's just Monday early, down to 230. The volatility here, you put this on the daily. We're coming down to the lows that we were at on November 2nd. That low there is 211. Right now we're sitting at about 230. We were down to about 195. The lows, I mean, right near the lows, folks. COVID aside, movie theaters were already in a tough business. Right, you back this up and put it on a max. I mean, my goodness, we were at $35 to kick off 2017. You got a dead cat bounce from 10 all the way up to 20 in 2018, and it's been a one-way rocket ship to the downside. We came into the year prior to COVID at a price of about 6 or 7 when you had been at a price of 20 only 14 or 15 months prior to that. Point being, you take a look at where we are. Be very careful with these folks. There's no reason why this company just can't go BK. They're pushing out shares. They need it. But HBO is already releasing all their movies via their streaming platform. They were very kind of secretive of the numbers that they put out for their Wonder Woman movie that came out on Christmas. I believe they said half of the people that had paid for it watched it, something like that. Very, very ambiguous. It looks like they were massaging their streaming numbers for that release. They took in about 16 million at the box office, which was the biggest box office number post-COVID. But that whole industry, how do you compete with the likes where you have studios like HBO coming right to streaming, and then you have one of the biggest of them all, Disney. This whole year, Disney's been restructuring their entire company to focus on streaming first. So yes, they're going to try and collect that revenue from the box offices. They can tune into the tune of about $1 billion. But when you know that company is strictly focused on a streaming platform first, it's very discouraging if you're believing in the AMC business model like it was, because you don't need to take in $1 billion per film. If you're pushing 300 to 400 million paid subscribers, which Disney is going to try and push in the next 3 years, you really don't need to worry about taking in all the money at the box office if you are approaching 350 million people paying you on a monthly basis just for your streaming platform, and how those coincide. All right, what else we got going on? Man, a sad one here, folks. Congressman-elect, not sure if you've heard about it. This gentleman just elected to the House, 41 years old, and dies of COVID before he even gets in there. Wife, 2 young children. Heart goes out to his family, and you wish him a lot of love, and those words that, you just can't say anything. Be safe out there, folks. 41. I was blown away by this one. Looks like a pretty healthy guy, and unfortunately passed away. Congressman-elect. He was going to be in Congress, too. It's real sadness out there. All right, stocks making the most moves out here today. Let's jump to Intel. So, Intel, pretty interesting one here. I was reading this. Third Point Capital, they're in the mix, folks. They're urging Intel to ditch the businesses that aren't working. So, interesting one here, okay? Among the considerations that Third Point, you got Dan Loeb. He's urging Intel's board of directors to hire an investment advisor to explore strategic alternatives after they basically got their butt kicked by Taiwan Semiconductor, Samsung, and AMD. So Third Point, known for its activism, they just took a significant $1 billion stake in Intel. Intel was up big yesterday on this news. The loss of manufacturing leadership and other missteps have allowed several semiconductor competitors to leverage Taiwan Semiconductor and Samsung's process technology prowess and gain significant market share. Intel's been pummeled, folks. We'll pull it up. Meanwhile, AMD, they're the leader almost. They're skyrocketing. So in a statement, Intel said it would work with Third Point and its ideas to increase shareholder value. You're going to see this one play out, folks, because Intel has been in trouble. They have been getting their butt kicked. There's the acceleration on that news yesterday. You pull it up on a daily of where we are, and you can see prior to yesterday, I mean, geez, you're right down here to lows. I mean, you put this thing on a 5-year weekly, right? We were running high. Look at where we were. We're bouncing off those exact same lows, $45, since the beginning of 2018, okay? Now, you pull up a chart like AMD. Watch this one. My goodness, right? Intel is basically bouncing, to do that again. We're back to price levels that we were at in November of 2017. Meanwhile, you have AMD shares going from price level of 13 up to 90 since that time. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but maybe that is the low. They're going to come in. They're going to reorganize. I mean, one of the things they talked about here at Third Point, I mean, talk about being biased, right? They come in and buy $1 billion of the stock, and then they want to make sure that everything happens and pump it up, sell off the things not working. They talk about a national interest, though, and they're probably right. You can't have all of our chips that we use being made by foreign competitors, especially when you're talking about over in China. Samsung, right? I mean, Huawei, et cetera, they're all in the mix. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's getting some press today for sure. All right, what else we got going on? So Apple, a judge dismissed Apple's copyright infringement claims against a Florida security software startup. Apple claimed the Corellium software amounted to creating unauthorized copies of iOS. Pretty interesting when you beat out Apple and they toss the Apple suit. We talked about AMC. They're filing more shares. Surprised that's not down more. I mean, that really means the market knows they're in trouble, folks. They're pushing out shares. They're trying to raise capital, and the market's saying we're not going lower because we knew that was happening. Caterpillar got named, Baird named them top 2021 idea, raised the price target to 220. Firm said demand in key markets set to rebound. 2020 figures proving easy to beat. I mean, 2020 comp sales, comp numbers across the board, folks, you better be beating what we have in 2020 if you're coming into 2021 and we have the economy opening back up. Now, this is going to be a long term on Caterpillar. Okay, so we're just coming up above all those highs we had in 2018. We're going to put it on a 15-minute. A little bit of volatility upside from 177 to about 178 for Caterpillar shares. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back after the break, see what else we have going on for Wednesday trading. Be right back. Stay tuned.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps right now positive by 11, NASDAQ positive by 58, Dow positive by 63, the Russell getting a little bit of a pop, positive by 8 today. Quite the fall off. As I mentioned, the Russell is given back from 2032 to 1963. Taking a look at the daily, I mean, maybe we just got a little bit heated there. Now, I had these trend lines on there. Interesting. They stop where I drew them. So November 23rd, you're talking about 5 weeks or so. You could say we were at the upper end of that channel line, right? We bounced off it twice on the bottom. there as well. We've gotten a little bit out of hand. I'm going to extend that to the right. We'll see where we are, folks. We'll see if we come back down to that level. That would be the next level you're looking at, maybe the Russell to test. Talking about maybe a level right there of about 1911 or so, give or take, on the Russell. And 2020, come on. Where's my data? Where's my VIX data? They're slowing up on me. Oh, did I just lose everything? Maybe I'm losing my data. Maybe I lost my connection. You guys got me? Oh, maybe I got some Russians in my computer. I think I just lost. I'm going to try and finish it out. We got the S&Ps up 10 points right now, folks. Not sure you can hear me, but it's going to be an interesting day. Low volume day, folks. Low volume day in here. It doesn't mean low volatility. Markets, very possible we just inch forward to the end of the year. There's a very big incentive for these markets to finish where we are. You lock in the yearly profits. We got the S&Ps up about 10 points right now, folks, at 3730. We got the NASDAQ up 56 points. Dow up 62. Yeah, you're not, for some reason. I know I'm having a few technical difficulties, folks. I apologize. A little bit of an internet problem towards the end there. I'll get my chart back in there, and we'll end the program. With the S&Ps right now up 10 points. Trading at 3730, NASDAQ positive 57, the Dow positive 64. You still have me. Perfect. All right, we're fighting through the end of the program, folks, but don't worry. We got our man, Larry Pesavento. He's going to be in the saddle next, coming up with Trade What You See. Stay tuned, folks. It's going to be an interesting day.